Hi everyone. We are on our weekly session on the parasha. This Shabbat, tomorrow we are reading the portion of shelch leca, when Moses is sending the 12 spy to spy the land, and the story that come out of it is the fact that they are coming talking and saying lashon hara, evil tongue, upon the land of Israel. The result, 10 of them that spoke the lashon hara die in epidemic in a very awful way. 2 of them spoke good on the land. They were blessed to enter to the land, even though that now there was a decree of 40 years being in the desert. Now the decree of being 40 years in the desert became not because of the evil tongue of the 10 presidents of the tribe that entered to Israel and spoke the evil tongue. We have a much deeper story over here. Because when the spies are coming back from the land, and I'm not going into the details of all the tour they've done and what they saw and so on. When they're coming back and they are saying and talking bad upon the land, that we cannot enter, we will die there are giants there, etc., the people of Israel started to cry. Upon that crying, God is saying, you cried for nothing, I'm going to give you a real reason to cry. And we know that night that the people of Israel cried on the desert was the night of the 9th of Av. And many years later, the first temple and the second temple were destroyed on the 9th of Av. And the Inquisition started on the 9th of Av. Many bad things happened to Israel on that day. Now, why? It's an important question to ask over here. Why God is punishing all the people after the 10 people made their own mistake or their own desire to receive for oneself alone, their own temptation was controlling them, and the result was that they were talking bad upon the land? Why that crying caused that they should be punished? We can say, just a second, God. We have a rabbi. This is the leader of the tribe. He is the spiritual leader of the tribe. He told us that we shouldn't enter, so we were crying after all that happened coming out of Egypt, that now we will enter to the land to be killed in the land. So this was our leader telling us not to enter. What do you want from us? Punish him that he made the evil tongue, but we shouldn't be punished. But still God is punishing them. We need to understand the idea that if there is cause and effect, means that there is a freedom of choice. If the people of Israel are not to be blamed upon that crying, they would not be punished. But if they are being punished, then we know that there was a freedom of choice, that we could choose better. Which means even though that the big rabbis of each tribe, of the 10 tribes, told to their people, don't enter to the land is bad, we shouldn't enter to them, the land is good, but we will be killed there because of the giants and the Amalekites and so on. Then the people had a choice. They could think, just a second, we saw all the miracles, and the father of all the prophets in Judaism, which is Moses, is stating to us that God said that it's possible to enter to the land, and 2 of the spies are also talking good on the land. They could choose and say, you know what, even though the chief rabbi of our tribe is saying don't enter, we have Moses, we still have Moses, and we still have the word of God promising that the land will be the land of milk and honey, and it would be fruitful, and it would be good, and we won't die entering to the land. But because we chose differently, we chose to cry, the judgment came and been very severe. So the direct lesson for me here is that even though that the person maybe have a teacher or a rabbi that guides him, eventually in the most important questions of life, you can get the information, you can get the message, but then you have the responsibility to decide upon the message that you received. Coming to enter to the land of Israel, we are speaking about major decision, the most major decision since coming out of Egypt, and we were punished because we did not take responsibility to choose differently. Then it means that each one of us should take responsibility. We won't be able to say, my rabbi told me. I listen to my Rebbe. So if he made a mistake, you should punish him. This is why it says that a student should find a Rebbe. Aseh lecha Rav, make yourself a rabbi. Which means according to you, you should make yourself a rabbi. You should choose the rabbi that you want to listen to. It means if you should choose, you have the ability also to choose differently in the process. It's a freedom of choice that we do have, and we were judged because we didn't take responsibility to use our freedom of choice when we were coming to enter to the land of Israel. Now it's not easy. It's very delicate. Because in most of the cases, yes, the rabbis or the teachers, the spiritual teachers, are guiding us correctly. But eventually we need to understand that each one of us has a special correction in which we need to take responsibility upon our own decisions, and it's not easy. The story is not easy. But still, this is why we should pray to the light to guide us in the proper path, in the proper way, that we will make the proper decisions, that we will cross the right bridge when we need to cross it, or if not to cross it. This is not easy in life because each one of us is going to be tested, is being tested in certain moments of life. What do we choose to do? And the responsibility eventually is upon the individual, not upon the rabbi or upon the spiritual leader. Each one needs to take their own responsibility. So this is one of the lessons that we get from there. Another lesson is that the land of Israel, as God said, as the prophet of God says, which is Moses, the father of all prophets in Judaism, the spiritual leader that brought us all of the knowledge of the Torah, they said that the land is the land of milk and honey. The land is good. Then we need to learn and get the message from here. Never to speak bad upon the land of Israel. We can say maybe that we are not pleased with the situation that there is today in the land. We want a better situation. Not that the land is bad. Not that the people are bad. This is the situation, I want a better situation. This is my life, I want a better life. This is what's happening in the land, I want something better to happen in the land. But not to speak bad on the land of Israel, not to speak bad upon God that maybe He forgot us and maybe He doesn't care about us, and not to speak bad about other people here in the land. Each one needs to look to their own mirror to do their own correction and not to say the other person is not right. I can say, this is not for me, this is not for me, but not to say that others are not right. To my opinion, this is my way. This is the way that I should do it. This is the way that I understand things. And it's a process. It's a responsibility of each one of us by themselves. So this is two things about the parasha that we are seeing from here. Not to talk the evil tongue, not upon people, not upon the land, and that we need to take responsibility for our own actions and our own decisions. Now, in this parasha, in chapter 14, verse 17, it says over there, "Ve'ata yigdal na koach Hashem." Now the strength of God should be bigger. The word yigdal means to grow bigger. Starts with a yud, and the letter yud in the Torah on the scroll in this case is a bigger letter than the average, which means if a letter yud normally is in a certain size, over here it's a bigger letter. And we know that when we have a bigger letter, we have a bigger channel to reveal the light of the level named Bina consciousness, understanding, is being shining through that letter. The higher light of the upper triangle is shining through that letter and coming to our world to give us strength. So there is over here a channel to strengthen the energy of the pure system to overcome the impure system. This is with the big letter Yud that appears in the Torah. And towards the end of the parasha, the last paragraph of the parasha speaks about the tzitzit. It is on chapter 15, start with verse 37. Chapter 15, verse 37, the paragraph of the last paragraph of Shema Israel that speaks about the tzitzit. We know that from the point of view of health and healing, this paragraph of the Shema, the last one, is correlating with the lower part of the body of a human being, which is the legs, spine, and sex organs. And this is to bring energy of health and healing to this area of the body. The hips, the legs, spine, and all the sex organs. So God willing that in this Shabbat we'll be able to connect with this type of light. Now, in the Zohar of this parasha, the Zohar Asulam, starting in verse 137, there is a special article that speaks about the reading of the Sefer Torah. And he's saying that the Sefer Torah, that when it's being brought out of the ark, it's a very powerful thing that's taking place. And he's saying that he's comparing it to a tower that channels the light, Migdal Oz. And when he's explaining about this, he's saying that the ark is associated with the Bina consciousness, and the Sefer Torah is associated with Zeir Anpin, which is the tree of life, and the place where the table that we place the Torah upon to read the Torah is connecting with the emanation of Malchut. So we have here 3 levels of energy: the Bina consciousness, which is the ark; the Sefer Torah, which is Zeir Anpin, the tree of life; the 6 emanations, and Malchut, which is the manifestation with the table that is like an altar. And this is why when we open the ark, it's an opportunity for us to ask personal wishes, which is a big opportunity in that moment to ask those personal questions, the wishes that we have and we wish to fulfill in our life. So God willing that we will all remember to speak just good upon the land of Israel and upon other people, and God willing that we will have a blessed and beautiful Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.